Richard Johnson is a lecturer in US politics and international relations. He joins us now from Lancaster in England. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
So President Trump attacked Nancy Pelosi over the weekend for rejecting his offer to extend protection for children of undocumented immigrants in exchange for getting funding for his border wall. Given all this, what will likely happen, do you think, when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell sends Mr. Trump's plan to the floor for a vote?
I think that it'll probably pass the Senate, but then the key thing is it probably won't pass the House. And similarly, we've seen the House Democrats make moves that then Mitch McConnell hasn't taken up in the Senate. And it really seems at the moment that both parties are really playing a sort of game of chicken here. They're trying to make the situation unbearable, intolerable for key constituents of either side, to hope that they get so much pressure from their core supporters that you know something has to budge and someone has to move. But at the moment, I don't see the offer that the president made this weekend as really a serious offer to get the Democrats to change. I think it's more of a political move to try and shift blame from the president looking like the unreasonable actor in this to the Democrats looking like the unreasonable actors.
Right, and interestingly, far-right conservatives have also criticised President Trump, some suggesting he's offering an amnesty to Dreamers. Mr. Trump rejects that, but how do you expect him to respond in the hours ahead to criticism of his offer coming from all sides now?
I mean, I thought it was a bit ironic, actually, that the president sent these tweets claiming that Nancy Pelosi was beholden to her left flank. And you know, there certainly is a case to be made that Nancy Pelosi is much more sensitive to the left of her party now than she's had to be in the past because of the dynamics of the Congressional Democratic House caucus. But on the other hand, it sounds like the president has, within the White House, people like Stephen Miller, one of his key advisors, who's very close to the more conservative flank of the Republican Party, those people who are very skeptical. Those who are very skeptical of immigration. I think that the president is being sort of pulled by them. And so I think he's had to, even if he was considering giving a more sweeping immigration reform deal, I think he's had to pull back on that.
All right, so when we look at this offer that was made, that's been criticised by both sides of politics here, you're saying you don't think it was a serious offer from the president anyway. Given what we're all witnessing at this point, and we're going into the 31st day of this partial government shutdown, what do you think it will take for someone to blink here and realise that we're coming up to the second payday that people go without? People who are earning $30,000 to $50,000 a year are not getting their money, which means they're not getting food to put on the table, they're not getting medicine for their loved ones, they're not able to help their loved ones. It's an impossible situation for those people. When is this going to likely end?
I think that you could look to the Senate and see if the Senate, perhaps the president's proposal fails, but perhaps a second attempt through the Senate is a way of striking some sort of compromise position between the president's position and the House's position. But I think that if there isn't movement on that, and I think Mitch McConnell hasn't really shown a great deal of at least forward leadership on this, perhaps a bit behind the scenes, then I think all bets are off, including the possibility that the president does decide that he can't make any agreement through legislation and seeks emergency powers to construct the wall. And in some ways, I think some people just think at this point, let the president do that and then let the courts decide on the constitutionality and legality of that.
Yeah, we'll watch to see what happens in the coming days. Richard Johnson, thank you so much for joining us, for bringing us your analysis. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're here